In the 13, 14 and 1500s, this small stretch of the River Tweed here, which marks the Anglo-Scots border, was the most contested, fought after and violent place on the whole of planet Earth. And the castle just at the top of the hill here, Menem Castle, holds the title of the most dangerous place in England because of that. Let's do what so many Scottish kings and armies failed to do. Let's infiltrate the castle. The fortifications here at Menem are vast. But you know why? Because from the south there, Scotland was bombarding this place constantly for hundreds of years. But as formidable, awe-inspiring a sight as Menem Castle here is, it's not the reason why I'm on this notorious stretch of the Tweed today. Because you see, not only does this stretch of borderland contain lots of military instalments, it contains a load of religious instalments. Churches, chapels. And believe me when I say that some of these have an even more interesting history than the military ones. And there's one in particular that I'm looking for today, the lost Chapel of St Cuthbert. Where is it? But I want to start my religious journey here, still in the village of Menem in England, but at Menem Church. Now Menem Church here is dedicated to St Cuthbert, like hundreds of other churches across the country. But this ain't the lost one that I'm looking for. But who was St Cuthbert? Well, St Cuthbert was a shepherd from Lauderdale, who became a monk at Melrose Abbey. He excelled and inspired there in the teachings of God, and soon he became the Bishop of Lindisfarne, the most holy site in the whole of Great Britain, or Holy Island. He lived out a lot of his life in solitude in the Farne Islands, and he became revered the country over as this wonderful saint, and he inspired so many people to do so many things. When St Cuthbert died, he was buried at Lindisfarne. But as the Vikings invaded the east of Britain in the 7th century, Cuthbert's body was moved. What they found when they exhumed Cuthbert's body after 10 years being buried was that there had been no decomposition at all on the body, which made his saintly status even more truthful. He was moved around the country and finally put to rest in Durham. Where Cuthbert was buried in Durham, they built a cathedral around him, Durham Cathedral. This huge, impressive World Heritage Site of Durham Cathedral is actually a gravestone for a man from Lauder. It's a church with a lot of significance for Scottish people, because 3 times, and particularly in 1322, King Robert the Bruce and his army holed up in here. They used this as a fort on their attack on Menem Castle. They were in here for over a year. And you can still see scar marks on the walls here, which legend has it were from their Bruce and his army sharpening their swords. Wow. The inside of this church is magnificent. A must see. But it was on this exact site in 1292 that John Balliol, the King of Scotland, bowed down and swore allegiance to Edward Longshanks of England. This is Ladychurch Church, back in Scotland, but just perched on the cliffs of the River Tweed, a mile or so from Menem. It's another hugely impressive church inside. The stone ceiling and roof is probably even more dramatic from this angle. But its connections to history are strong too. The church on this spot was first built to commemorate St Aidan, the founder of Christianity in Great Britain, because St Aidan forded the Tweed here on his way to Lindisfarne, and that's why a religious establishment has existed on this spot. But it was King James IV of Scotland who almost drowned in the Tweed right next to Ladychurch. But he was saved by a vision of the Virgin Mary. So King James funded this grand chapel you see today. So although maybe not quite as grand as Menem, Ladychurch Church here certainly isn't forgotten. It's still in use, and it's still a wonderful place to come and visit and have a look round. But what I'm looking for is this Chapel of St Cuthbert. Much more neglected and forgotten, isolated site. But where is it? Let's move up the Tweed and see if we can't find anything. This feels more like the kind of church I'm looking for. A kind of ancient, unkempt, forgotten feel to it. I'm afraid this is not the forgotten St Cuthbert's Chapel. This is the equally interesting Menem Church near Coldstream. really is a great little site here. Feels like it's been lovingly restored over the last few years. And it's well worth a visit. Lots of history in this place too. Legends of body snatchers being a prominent one. But where is the lost and completely forgotten, not restored or cared for Chapel of St Cuthbert? Well, I think to find it, you need to go back over the river and back into England. Back across to the English side of the Tweed now. This is the River Till. Now, according to the only old book I have on this subject, if I follow the River Till here right down to the Tweed, and the chapel is just right on the other side of the river. Let's go see what we can find in this mad cave system. Unfortunately, my only way to get across to St Cuthbert's Chapel is going to be to scramble up this muddy banking and walk over this extremely high looking viaduct. It really is a magical place. You know, from the grand hall at Menem Church to the slightly less well looked after one at Ladykirk, to the forgotten but restored one at Lennell, to this, probably the most sacred site of all the churches I've visited today, but completely and utterly forgotten, abandoned, and never even visited. But still a place of real religious importance. So these are the ruins of the chapel, but where are the remains of Cuthbert's stone coffin? The old book I have on the topic was written in 1767. And it claimed that the coffin was some 50 yards to the east of the church. But I can find no coffin there. I would imagine that over the hundreds of years since that book was written, that pilgrims have taken it somewhere. So there you go, the story of another Scottish borders legend, St Cuthbert. And another border legend, St Cuthbert's Chapel. Unfortunately, it's not a Scottish borders legend, because this is England. Scotland is just a few yards over the river on the other side there. I think it's about time I went back. I've spent enough time here today. If you are interested in St Cuthbert and you're interested in walking as well, you can walk St Cuthbert's Way, which is a long distance path from Melrose, where Cuthbert started his monastic career, down to Lindisfarne, where he ultimately died. Well, he died on the Farne Islands. The thing with Cuthbert's Way is it doesn't pass any of these sites. These are kind of a Cuthbert came when he was dead. St Cuthbert's Way follows the path he took when he was alive. I actually invented a new path myself, Cuthbert's Dead Way.